Are buyers overpaying again? I'm going to talk about that in the latest Home Prices and Insights for Peel and Durham for week ending February the 8th, 2023. I received a call. Gentleman says, Santo, we just bought a house. We think we overpaid. We're having second thoughts. So I said, what happened? Why do you think you overpaid? He says, well, we were in a bidding war and we really wanted to get this house. The agent said, well, if you want this house, this is the price we need to pay. So that's what we did. We really loved it. Thought, okay, let's go all in. Let's pay more than maybe we felt comfortable doing. But now we're regretting it, he said. I said, well, let me have a quick look. So I looked at the property, and yeah, it kind of looks like they overpaid by a lot. And just to be clear, when I say overpay, I'm looking at what they bought that property for versus what a recent property, similar property to the one they bought, recently sold for in the same neighborhood. So yeah, looks like they overpaid. I don't understand. It seems like yesterday, although it was about a year ago, but seems like yesterday we had multiple problems with people overpaying, the home then not appraising. Like these buyers, the guy that called me, potentially, if their home doesn't appraise, they're in for some serious financial hardships if their home doesn't appraise, and somehow they still got to figure out a way to close. It blows me away that in just a short period of time, everybody forgets. So bidding wars, it seems they're back. We're seeing lots of them. And although I'm talking to you about one phone call, we're also seeing lots of properties selling for more than what a recent comparable property sold for in that neighborhood. Are they going to appraise? Are they not? Like I can't pick in every situation, but some of them, for sure, it's going to be a bit dicey just because there's so much more. As realtors, part of our job, part of our responsibility is educating people and helping them make sound decisions. Sometimes protecting them from themselves, but giving them the tools they need to make a decision that makes sense. Sometimes saving them from potential financial pitfalls. That's our job. Who you hire matters. If you think this video can help somebody please pass it along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, we've made it really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll see the appointment ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. The markets, Mississauga, Brampton, Peel and Durham region, basically, lots of people are frustrated, lots of sellers, lots of buyers. We can see it out there, we can feel it. They're getting frustrated. Sellers, some sellers are taking advantage of the low inventory that's out there, are taking advantage of all the extra buyers that all of a sudden seems to be out there, and they're selling quickly and they're selling at a decent price relative to what sold recently in the neighborhood. Some even selling for a little bit more. But then you've got the other sellers somehow don't want to budge in price, don't want to budge in how their home is marketed, are doing exactly the same thing they've been doing before, and they're sitting there. Then you got buyers. Buyers are all of a sudden, from sitting on the sidelines, have decided to, okay, so let's get back into the market. And they're seeing that it seems a ton of other buyers thought the same way, and they're wondering what's going on, where properties used to sit there where we could just take our time and look. Now they're finding themselves in competition. They're finding themselves in a position of competing to buy certain properties. And I mean, that's always been there, but it seems to have intensified just in the last few weeks. Let's get into the numbers. Here's a quick summary. Mississauga, The green line, that's Brampton, and the red is Peel and Durham region. Different things have been happening. Price has gone up, kind of flat, down for Durham region. Let's start with Mississauga. This is for detached properties only, just for the city of Mississauga, broken down by week for a whole year. For week ending February the 8th, 24 detached properties were sold. 3 sold at $2 million or more. Less than $1 million, only 1. So if you're a first-time home buyer, and let's just assume most first-time home buyers are buying under $1 million, and you don't want to buy a condo, you want to buy a detached, good luck doing that in Mississauga. This is where the first-time home buyers are a little bit frustrated. Or people say leaving a condo for $500,000-$600,000, wanting to move into a detached property. Again, good luck buying anything under $1 million in Mississauga. Really tough to do. Only 1 was sold for week ending February the 8th, and that was for $975,000. Oh, I forgot to tell you what the average sold price was. $1,452,000 for the average sold price of a detached property in Mississauga. That price went up from the previous week. 1,452 is 23% lower than where the price was a year ago. The median price of $1,369,000 is 20% lower than where the median price was a year ago. Now, for Mississauga, when we look back, and I'm looking at the dotted line now, this is the 4-week moving average. It makes it simpler to spot a trend when we use the moving average. If we were to draw a line between last year and this year, there really isn't much change. Prices seem to be kind of flat over the last 3 months. That'll change when I look at some of the other areas. Compared to last year's sales, way off the pace. Keep in mind, this time last year, record sales, record prices and record sales. We're way off the pace where we were last year, and we're kind of off the pace for the few years before that also. 29% of the 24 properties that sold at list price or more, so less than a third. Listings, be nice to see some more listings out there. We got a little bit more. 60 detached properties were sold, but it's still not that much. In all of Mississauga, 228 detached properties are sold. Months of inventory has come down to 2.2 months of inventory. Average days on market is 20. Here's Brampton. Sales have been going up since this year started. 47 detached properties were sold. 1 of those was at $2 million or more. But 13 of those 47 sold under $1 million. So if you're a first-time home buyer, you're looking to buy something under $1 million, you got a lot better shot in Brampton than you do doing that in Mississauga. Average sold price is sitting at $1,205,000. And I kind of circled the last 3 weeks because it's hovering just over $1.2 million, the average sold price. Compared to last year, 1,205, 24% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $1,215,000 is 22% lower than last year's median price. Now, let's look at the 4-week moving average here, because this is kind of a trend we're seeing in a lot of different neighborhoods now across the GTA. So I've put a line here, last year, this year, 2023. And for a lot of areas last year, the prices were trending down, both for average and for median price. But it seems this year, it's just tighter. Months of inventory coming down. More buyers seem to have decided now's when we want to buy. And it's just become more intense, the market right now, more competitive. We're seeing prices not aggressively in most areas, but we're seeing prices this year so far kind of creeping up a little bit week after week. Sales, no surprise, way off the pace from where we were last year. 23% of the properties sold at list price or more in Brampton. Listings also way off the pace. So the whole idea that, yeah, there's more buyers, but there's also not that many listings coming onto the market. Months of inventory coming down almost on a weekly basis since this year started. Now we're sitting at 1.5 months of inventory. Very much a seller's market. Average sold price normally when months of inventory are coming down, average sold price really should be creeping up when we talk about the relationship between months of inventory and prices. In this case, it's kind of flat, but if months of inventory stay like this, I would expect in the coming weeks prices to start going up, as long as months of inventory stays this low. Here's Peel, the Peel region, the Durham region, and for Durham I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. 47 detached properties were sold. None of those sold at $2 million or more. And if you're looking to buy something under $1 million between Mississauga, Brampton, and Durham, Durham's your best shot. For these three cities, Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby, 26 properties sold. So more than half of those 47 sold under $1 million. 26 properties. Average sold price came way down from the previous week, sitting at $1,031,000. $1,031,000 is 33% lower than the previous year's average sold price. The median price of $998 is 32% lower than last year's median price. Now, last year, Peel and Durham actually is kind of behaving opposite of everything I've been telling you so far. So last year, the end of last year, average sold price seemed to be going up. This year for Peel and Durham, average and median price seem to be coming down. It's opposite of most areas of the GTA. Sales, here's what doesn't make sense. So more than half the properties are selling at list price or more. Most of the listings have offer dates attached. You know you're going to be competing. Prices seem to be coming down, and more than half sold at list price or more, which kind of tells you that, you know, if half the properties we're competing on, why aren't prices going up? Listings, 53, not a lot of listings. And here's something else. Look at months of inventory, 0.7, and they're coming down almost on a weekly basis. You figured prices should be going up, but they're not. Now, what I'm telling you between prices and months of inventory in a relationship, it's not an exact science. It's a relationship that we normally see happening, and maybe it's a delay, but as long as months of inventory stay this low, prices should be heading upwards. Let's see what happens in the next few weeks. Here's condos. This is for all of Peel region. The majority of these condos are being bought and sold in Mississauga. Sales, kind of the same over the last 4 weeks. 28 condos were sold. Average sold price is $592,000. $592,000 is 16% lower than the previous year's average sold price. The median price of $580,000 is 16% lower, just like average sold price percentage wise. Now, if we look at the 4-week moving average for condos in Peel, it kind of looks like, especially you look at the last couple months of this year alone, average sold price and median price looks like it's trending upwards. Sales, 28 that sold, only 14% sold at list price or more. That's not a lot, and so there's not as much competition when it comes to the condos. Lots of listings coming up at 73 new condo listings. Months of inventory relatively flat. It's actually gone up from the previous week, sitting at 2.8 months of inventory. So the condo, here's a summary of months of inventory. Condos, whole different feel than the freehold market, or the detached market anyways, between Mississauga, Brampton, and Ajax, where months of inventory has come down in all those areas. Very much sitting as a seller's market, but it's, you know, when I say that, it doesn't mean that prices are going through the roof. We're seeing prices trending up or staying flat in most of these areas, but you will find it more competitive. Who you hire matters. There's a lot of things going on out there. It is not one area is just like all the other areas. Very, very different situations. You kind of got to know what's going on. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.